Hey, I'm starting the butcher's knife, which is going to be a high ladder pattern steak knife onto a carbon core steel. So I've started this stack off with 20 layers, and I'm just going to go through the whole squashing down, drawing out, restacking, forging process. Getting to around 400 layers ultimately. So I'm not really going to bother showing you this, guys, because it's been done many times. I'm just going to crack on and forge this out until I get the pattern I want. Then I'm going to draw that out, cut it in half and clad it onto a core steel. So I'll bring you back on that when I get there. But something I'm really interested in finding out is if this stuff here can be re-welded back together. And what this is it's the chippings off the bandsaw, off the metal cutting bandsaw. And what I want to do is reforge that back together inside a can. So I've made myself a little can up here, and I'd just be really interested to see what this looks like. There's no doubt other bits of metals in there. I think there's probably little bits of stainless and maybe little bits of mild in there that's just got kind of mixed in with it. But what I also want to do is I want to put in something that's going to give some nice effect into the steel. So what I thought was I will put some of these turnings which have come off the lathe, and I want to put a load of this into this stuff. I want to mix it all in, and I'm going to forge the can down, and I'm going to see what this looks like when it's all been forged together. That's if it forges together, that is, because I'm hoping it's going to kind of look like a really kind of cool Wootz style steel. I don't know, I think it'll be interesting. So I'm going to mix all this stuff together, cut all this up, put as many of these little spirals in as I can get with this 1095 and 15N20 shavings, and we're going to put it in this can and weld it up. What I have done is I've got these little strips of stainless steel foil which I use to heat treat stainless, and I'm just going to drop some of them in the can, 4 of them down each side to line the can, and that will hopefully stop this sticking to the can. It should do, it should work pretty well, that. And so let's get this filled up, and whilst I'm forging this billet down, I can also have that billet in, and we'll get that squashed and see if we can compress it and make it into a solid piece of steel. Is that going to weld? Absolutely no idea. But give it a go. So I think just for this video we'll concentrate on this piece of hopefully steel. I mean, if we win, I'm going to call it scrap Wootz. If we fail, I think I'll just call it nothing to see here. Alright. And here we go, first squash. I've put my squaring dies in, and something actually disastrous happens now on this first press. You'll see the billet on the end. Look, the weld has let go and it's opened up, so oxygen's got in straight away. It doesn't really bode too well for the whole billet forging together, because there's little air gaps between all those bits of steel and everything, so air's actually now got in the billet. And you can also see that there's contaminants in that steel, because there's a bit of a blue flame coming out from the end of the billet. I'm trying to consolidate the billet down now just to squash it down further, and I've gone from kind of 2 inch down to 1 inch here at this point, and there you can see where the end of the cam popped off, but it does kind of look welded, so I'll have to see what happens. Just strip the can off, which came off dead easy. There it is. Now I have to say here, just to avoid any confusion, I have not tried to make Wootz steel. I have tried to make something that is similar in appearance to Wootz, which is a kind of marbled, flecky, beautiful looking thing. Anyway, I'll give you a closer look at it, because I really like the look of it, but I will change the way I do it. As you saw there, the can came off really easily, the canister. So all I did, I just forged it square, and so I could have a look at it. I was going to forge it out flatter because I think that would have made it look a lot nicer, but what started happening was the billet actually started cracking up, which tells me it wasn't properly forge welded, or this powder is too dirty. There's other contaminants in it, maybe bits of sawdust, bits of G10, little bits of brass, little bits of all kinds of stuff in it, sawdust, whatever. So in which case it's never going to forge weld properly. Although it is a pretty solid piece of steel, it did start cracking up on drawing out. Maybe my heat wasn't high enough, but I do like that look. So yes, I will try again, because it's nearly there. What I have got some pure 1095 and 15N20 powder in there, and that is all that is, because every time I cut up my 1095 and 15N20, just those two, I have a piece of card underneath, and I've been saving these specifically just for this reason. So what I'm going to do with this stuff though next time is I'm going to pour it into a bottle of acetone to get any contaminants out of it, and any bits of wood and rubbish will obviously float to the top, so I can strain them off and properly clean this steel before I forge weld it again. I also may add a little bit of 1095 powder to it, and because it's a much finer powder, hopefully help it bind a bit better. But I'm not doing it now, I've got too much to do. That's the other billet I was forging yesterday, so that's forged, ready to cut and restack. I have another billet there which I did a couple of weeks ago, so I'm now going to concentrate on these two, getting these two forged down, cut up, forged down again. The steel from these we can go into the canister pot, and this one is for our steak knife, our big butcher's steak knife, which I will bring you in on the next video. Thanks to all my patrons. Give it a like if you like, guys. Please feel free to comment and like, and all the good stuff or the bad. And but anyway, I'll get on with this now, and I'll see you in the next one, which will probably be the steak knife. Okay, see ya.